Good afternoon, students. Welcome to Lattice Theory Live lecture. In this lecture, we'll discuss about modular lattices and their properties. Okay. So, if we recall, because we have already defined what is meant by a modular lattice, and we have proved few properties of modular lattice. So, L, a lattice is said to be modular if and only if we proved one. What is that? Can somebody recall when we say that something is modular? Huh?
If x is greater than or equals to z,
Huh?
then
Huh.
x meet y join z is equals to x meet y join z.
Very good. X meet y join z is same as x meet y join z.
Join z.
And also we have proved another one. This is same as saying that if and only. Hmm? Does anybody remember when we proved this result? We have proved another equivalent without the condition. What is that? X meet y join
X
with
meet y join x meet z.
no is same as it is
X
just like
meet y join x meet z.
yes x meet y join x meet
Y join x meet z.
yes. Okay. So this second advantage, the second equality is that here we don't demand this equality. Okay, x meet z should be their answer, but that follows obviously from here. Whatever we are taking here, it actually satisfying that condition. Okay. Now we'll prove for modular lattice we give one more equivalent definition. Okay, and also we have proved what is the another one we have proved. We have given a characterization that L is modular if and only in terms of pentagon. What we have proved? L does not contain L does not
Integer and two.
contain pentagon, right? That you can
Yes.
also denote by n. These two results we have already seen for modular lattice. Okay, we'll prove one more characterization, or we can say that the following are equivalent. So simply write TFAE, so you can understand that this is the following are equivalent. That L is modular. So whenever your lattice is modular, that is same as saying that I use this definition. X greater than or equal to Z implies X meet Y join Z is same as X meet Y join Z. And the other one is L is modular is same as saying that L satisfies shearing condition. Okay, what is that shearing condition? That is uh, X meet Y join Z is same as X meet. Okay, in place of Y, here Z will be as it is there. So in place of Y, what we will have is this Y meet X join Z. Okay, so here also this shearing condition also doesn't require any condition on X and Z. Take any X, Y, Z, then X meet Y join Z is same as X meet. So Y I have written here, in place of this Y, you can replace this by Y meet X join Z. Okay, is that clear? That is called shearing condition. And of course, we can prove that this is same as saying that this L does not contain N5 pentagon. And if you want, you can include this above one also. That already we have proved that is if and only if and. Okay, fine. Now proof is not so difficult. 1 implies 2, and we'll prove that 2 implies 3 and 3 implies 1. Okay, but 3 implies 1 we already proved from here. From this second point, whatever we have proved, that if it does not contain n5, we know that it is modular. So here what we have to only prove, that 1 implies 2 and 2 implies 3. If we are done, if we show that 1 implies 2 and 2 implies 3, because we already know that 3 implies 1, all are equal. Is that clear? Any problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So assume that L is modular, that means this definition. Okay, whenever x is greater than or equal to z, then we can do this. Right? Then we want to show that this identity, this whatever left hand side is same as right hand side. We'll try to simplify this right hand side first, and we'll show that it is equal to this. Okay. So if you observe this, y meet x join z. So okay, so what I will write this as x join. Let me write that first properly. So y meet x join z. Okay, then we are joining with z. After that, we will find out meet with x. First, we will simplify this. Okay, can we apply modular condition for this whatever we have? No? Can somebody tell? Can we apply modular condition for this these 3 elements? This I will
Yes,
write as
sir.
x join z meet y. Okay, then join with z. I just rewritten those statements. Now, can you apply modular condition for this? Somebody saying, can we apply or not?
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
What? How we can apply?
X join Z
No,
meet with Y join Z.
no. X join z is greater than or equal to what? Yeah, whatever you said, answer is correct. But why? X join z, because is greater than or equal to z, then we can apply this modular condition. Is this clear? Everybody understood?
Yes,
This
sir.
x join z is greater than or equal to this z. So therefore, by modular condition, this is same as what? X join z, then meet with y join.
Y join Z.
Okay, because so what is the reason here is that x join z is greater than or equal to z. By 1 we get this. Okay, now you try to meet with this x. So therefore x meet y meet x join z. Okay, then you are joining with z is equal to this whatever we have simplified, that is nothing but x join z. So it is meet of 3 elements. Is this clear? Now can somebody tell me what is the value of this? How can further simplify this?
X meet Y join Z.
Yes, because what is the value of this? What is the value of x meet x join z?
X.
Is xy,
X.
because of absorption identity, right? Is that clear?
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
you get x meet y join z, and that is what we want to prove. Is this clear? Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
yes. So that proves 1 implies 2. 2 implies 3 we want to show. So assume that whenever such identity is true, then we want to show that it does not contain n5. So obviously how we will prove? We will prove by contradiction. Suppose assume that L contains n5 and we should get a contradiction to the identity. Okay, that is the idea. So suppose L contains pentagon or n5 whatever. So we can name it. Say suppose O, then B, then A, then I, C, and suppose this is our pentagon. Okay. Now we will show that for this ABC, this condition is not satisfied. Okay. Why? What is A meet B join C? So tell me what is then in this case what is A meet B join C? Hmm? What is B join C here? What is the value of B join C?
I.
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 Then what is this value? A meet I
A.
is A.
A.
Okay. Okay. Whereas the other identity, what is that other identity? A meet A. So let me write that A meet. This is B. So B meet B meet A join C, right? B meet A join C, then joining with C. This value we want to find. Is this clear? What is this value?
Yes, sir.
What is this value? So we'll try to simplify inside one, then we'll try to meet with A. Okay. So this is A meet B meet. What is A join C?
I.
Is I.
I.
Okay. Then we are trying to join with C. But what is B meet I? Is obviously B, right? Then we are trying to join with whether are we doing anywhere mistake? Is there any problem here? A meet A join C, then we are joining with A, B, C. Okay, here B meet I. What is B meet I? Is meet of these two is
B. B.
B. Then B join C is I. A meet we are not getting anywhere contradiction, right? So where is it? A meet B join C. So somewhere we should get. So A meet So here, instead of A meet B join C, we take C join B. Okay. For C, we will apply. We will see why we get a different one. Okay. So here, what we do instead of this, actually, for this one doesn't matter. So what we do is A meet C join B. This is same as what? Of course, this is same as A meet I, which is equal to A. Okay. Why we do that? I'll tell you. Instead of A join C, there we get A join B. So that will become simplified. So then for this A C B, what you will get here? So A meet. Are you following what I'm saying? A meet in whatever you have. C meet. Okay. Then A join B. Then we are trying to join with B. See, whatever we have this C, in place of C, what we have taken? C meet A join B. What is this value? If you see what is the advantage here, A, what is relation between A and B? A is bigger than B. So A join B is same as what? We will get A here. Are you following? So
A.
therefore, this is same as
Yes, sir.
A meet. Okay. So C meet A join B is A. Then
A.
we are trying to meet with join with B. Okay. Oh, this is same as A meet. What is C meet A? C
O.
is O. Okay. Then O join B is obviously
B.
B. But what is A meet B? Huh?
B.
B. Okay, so we get here B, but here we got here it is A, right? So therefore we are getting that this A meet, so therefore we are getting A meet C join B is not equal to A meet C meet A join B, then join with B. Okay, which is a contradiction. It is a contradiction because we have assumed that that identity is true for any three elements, right? Okay. So while taking here, we have to make sure that this way we take it. Is this clear? Because when we take B and C, then we are not getting any contradiction there. That is the only thing. Okay. Is that clear? No? So we have taken for this
Yes,
A,
sir.
C, and B. Okay. So that contradiction arises because we have assumed that suppose our L contains pentagon. That is the wrong. This implies whenever assumption is true, then L does not contain pentagon.
Pentagon.
Okay. And 3 implies 1 we have already proved. Okay. Of course, if question is asked, we should not write already proved. You have to write the proof of that. Okay. So this is what we have learned, a new identity in this modularity, that for any x, y, z, x meet y join z can be written in this way whenever L is modular. Okay, fine. Any problem? No? Now what we will show here is something called isomorphism theorem for modular. So I'll write here isomorphism theorem. So what it says first, let's define this statement, then we will understand. Let L be a modular lattice and A comma B are two elements of lattice. Then this phi, they map phi B from you take A A meet B comma A to B comma A join B. Either this we have to take X, if we take X meet B. This one to follow book notation, we'll slightly change this, and of course whatever we have written is not wrong, just to make sure that we use that same notation, otherwise you can get confused again. So here we take A meet B comma B. Okay, then you define this phi B of any x you take, you send it this to x meet B. Okay, and is an isomorphism. Then this phi B given by is an isomorphism. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? This A and A join B, this one is isomorphic to A meet B and B in this modular. And the inverse isomorphism, the inverse isomorphism is, you can call it psi A. So this is from A meet B comma B to A comma A join B, given by psi A of, if you take any x, you send it same x we have used here, so we can use another notation. So we use this as y. Psi A of y, you send it to A join y. Okay, fine. So what is this statement says? First we will try to understand. Then proof is not at all so difficult. So what here we said here is that you take A and B are from two elements. Okay, so let me draw this. Okay. So what we have here is, this is our A, this is our A, and this is our B. Okay. Then obviously this is A meet B, and this is A join. Is the picture clear? Is the picture clear? Any problem?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Now you, what this phi b maps, understand, try to understand what is this phi b says. You take any element here between A and A join B. That means if I take some x in between this is my x. Okay. So let me take little far away. So I'll take this my as x. Then where is this x is going to? X is, we are sending to x meet B. That means we'll send this x to x meet B. So that is our x, and here it is x meet B. Whether x meet B is between A meet B and B, that you can check it very easily. Whenever x is between A and A join B, we can easily check that this x meet B is between here. So that then only this function will become well defined. Are you following? No. Now take any element, the inverse image here. That means take any element y here. If I take any y, where this map y is sending to? We are sending to y from y, it is going to this element, okay, which is nothing but A join y. Okay. So any element you take, we are actually sending that to element here. So therefore, we can sense that whatever this A comma A join B is isomorphic to A meet B comma B. Okay. Of course, you can interchange the role of A. So what I am saying, whatever we have here, this much part from this to here, this is isomorphic to this one. And similarly, A meet B comma A, if you take A meet B comma A, is isomorphic to B comma A join B. That means you can replace the values of, interchange the values of A and B. Is this clear? This one is isomorphic to this, and also whatever we are having here, this will be isomorphic to this line. Any problem? Is that clear? So we want to show that. Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Can you hear me or not?
Yes.
Okay, so when I'm asking, at least you should try to respond, right? No? When I'm asking whether this diagram is clear or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll try to prove that this phi b and psi a will show that they are isotone maps and they are inverse to each other. Then they will become isomorphic. Okay. So what we are going to show here is, we'll show that this phi b, and our claim is phi b and psi a are isotone maps, and they are inverse to each other, and inverse to each other. Okay, just a second. So we will prove that phi b and psi are isotone maps and they are inverse to each other. Okay. So what is meant by isotone map? If you recall, a map phi is said to be isotone if whenever you have two elements x less than or equal to y, then phi of x should be less than or equal to phi of y. Is this clear? Oh, so we show that this phi b and psi are isotone map and they are inverse to each other. Okay, fine. So to show that phi b is isotone, take any two elements here. Let x comma y belongs to a meet b. Okay, sorry, a comma a join b, right? A comma a join b. Such that x is less than or equal to y. Then we want to show that phi of x, phi b of x is less than or equal to phi b of y. Okay, but what is phi b of x? How phi b is defined? Phi b of x as x meet b, right? X meet b. But if x is less than or equal to y, what can you say about x meet b? Huh? If x is less than or equal to y, what can you say about x meet b? Is less than or equal to y meet b, right? But y meet b is same as phi b of y. So that shows that phi b of x is less than or equal to phi b of y. Hence, therefore, phi b is isotone. Okay, phi b is isotone. Similarly, you can easily show that.
Sir, screen
Yes.
is not visible.
Oh, okay. So similarly, psi a is isotone. So just you prove it how we did like phi b. It is very simple. So I leave it as exercise. Okay. Now we will show that they are inverse to each other. That means what? We will show that you take psi a composed with phi b, then phi b is defined on where? On this interval. Phi b is defined on x, so you suppose you call it phi b of x. This is equal to psi a of phi b of x. Okay, the same as psi a of how phi b of x is defined? X meet b. Okay, but x psi a of any element y is defined as what? A joined with that element. So we will get here A joined with that element, which is x meet b, right? Okay. Now, how we'll do this? So if you remember, where is this x? This x is from x belongs to the interval a comma a join b. This x is from a comma a join b. So therefore, here x is bigger than or equal to a. X is bigger than or equal to a or not? If some element is in this interval,
Yes,
means
sir.
it is in between them. So therefore, I can apply this. I can write as x meet b join a, right? But because x is bigger than or equal to x is
A.
bigger than or equal to a, this is same as by modularity x meet b join a. Are you following?
B join A.
Yeah. So what is the
Yes,
reason
sir.
here? Since x is bigger than or equal to a, by modularity we get it, right? But what is this value again? Huh? X is less than or equal to a join b. So therefore x meet a join b same as what? Is same as the smaller
Phi
one, which
B
is
join A of X.
it is simply x, right? Because x is less than or equal to a join, right? So we show that psi a composed with phi b is equal to x. Also, you can show that the other way. That means what is the other one? Is phi b composed with psi a applied on any y is equal to. So now this time where y should belongs to? Y should belongs to this interval A meet B comma B. So here I will write so that you can understand things better. So Y is between A meet B and B. But by definition, how this is defined? Phi B of A join Y. Then this is defined as how phi B of any X is defined? B meet X. So this is B meet, our X is here, A join Y. Okay. Now how you can do this again? Because our Y is bigger than A meet B, right? And less than or equal to, see here our Y is between this, right? So B is bigger than Y, right? So therefore B is bigger than Y. So how we can simplify this? By modularity. This is same as what? This is same as B meet A
B meet A join Y.
Y by modularity. Since Y, or you can call it B, is bigger than or equal to Y, so therefore by modularity we have this, right? But again, because B meet A is bigger than Y and you are joining with Y, what you will get here? This value is same as
Y.
Y, right? So that shows that these two maps are inverse to each other. Is this clear? This implies this phi B and psi A are inverse to each other, and hence they are isomorphic. Okay, that proves that, therefore, so what we have shown is that this A join B, if we take this, it is isomorphic to A meet B and B, right? Remember this type of whenever you have A and B in a modular lattice, then you take A and A join B. That means this diagram, if you see here, this line, whatever we have here, okay, is isomorphic to this line. That means every element here is mapped to an element here, right? Oh, now we'll see some of the applications of this line interval isomorphism theorem. For that, we define few things. So we already know this A covers B, this notation, right? Now if we write this means either A is equal to B or A is strictly covered by B. Okay, this cover notation you know already, right? So there is no element between A and B. A is covered by B. Okay. Now we say that you can write this as a notation, then we define it. So now we can define what is meant by definition, that a lattice L is said to be satisfied or is said to satisfy lower covering or upper covering. First we can write upper covering, it is same as for lower covering also. Said to satisfy upper covering condition. So simply we'll write UCC. Okay. If this, whenever this is true, then A join C should also be less than or equal to B join C, okay, for every C in F. Is definition clear? What is meant by saying upper covering condition? That means whenever A is covered by B, then A join C should be covered by B join C if they are not equal. Is this clear? and you can also write the other one is dual condition, that means uh, and lower covering condition, we can call it LCC, if whenever A is covered by B, then A meets C should be covered by B meets C, this whenever C belongs to A. Is this definition clear? Hmm? See, obviously, if A is equal to B, right, then A joint C should be equal to B joint C. So we don't need to uh, think about much, right? So whenever A is covered by B, then you take any C, A joint C should be covered by B joint C. Then we say that L satisfies upper covering condition. Are you following? Hmm? Any
Yes,
problem?
sir.
So pictorially, how you can write here? Suppose if A is here and B is here, in between there are no elements, then if we take any element C, okay, then A joins C, okay. So if I take C here, then A joins C, okay, if you take that somewhere here, it should be above B. So there is, there should not be any element between, this is A joins C, right? Right. So where will be A join C? It is somewhere here. Okay. This should be covered by B join C. So somewhere this will be B join C here. Okay. Are you following? So if you want, you write C somewhere side. Then this is your, okay. So whenever A is covered by B, we want to show that this A join C is covered by B join C. At that time, we say that L satisfies upper covering condition. Okay. Now, if our lattice is a modular lattice, then that lattice satisfies both the conditions. That means a modular lattice, or we can call it, if L is modular, if L is modular, then L satisfies both UCC and LC. Okay. So remember, L is modular, so it is dual also. It has dual property. So if it is enough, if we show that it satisfies UCC or LCC, the other one follows. Okay. Fine. Proof will show that it satisfies UCC condition. Okay. So let A, B, and C are three elements in L such that A is covered by B. See, because if A is equal to B, then obviously A join C is equal to, if A is equal to B, then A join C is equal to B join C. We don't need to prove anything.
B join C.
So simply take A is strictly covered by B and C is any element. Then we want to show that A join C is also covered by B join C. Okay. If A join C is suppose equal to B join C, then we are already done, right? If even though A is covered by B, if A by joining that C, it may happen that they may be equal. Okay, so if they are equal, we are already done because it satisfies this condition, right? Okay, so assume that. So assume A join C is not equal to B join C. In this case also, we want to show that it satisfies UCC. Are you following what we are doing? If these two are equal, we don't need to
Yes,
prove
sir.
anything, right? If they are not equal, then we want to show that A join C is covered by B join C,
B join
right?
C.
Now we can observe that because A is, since A is covered by B, so A is less than B. This implies A join C is less than or equal to B
B
joins,
join C.
right? So therefore B joins C and they are not equal. Okay, that means what we will get, B join C is not equal to A join C. B join C is not less than or equal to, since they are not equal, what we get here is that B join C is not contained in or not less than or equal to A join C. Because if at all B join C is less than or equal to A join C, then we get they are equal. Are you following? This is always true. This one is always true because of this condition. So therefore, and we are assuming that they are not equal. So therefore, this has to be true. Is this clear? Any problem? If
Yes,
at all
sir.
they are less than or equal to, they should get equal. Okay. Now, this implies we can assure that B is not less than or equal to A join C. Can somebody see why B is not less than or equal to A join C? Hmm? Since if at all B is less than or equal to A join C, then B join C is also less than or equal to A join C. Because C is anyhow, C is less than or equal to A join C. So if at all B is below to A join C, then B join C is also below to A join C, which is not true. Is this argument clear? B is not less than or equal to A join C. Any problem? Huh? Whether you understood or not, this one. From this, why we are getting this one? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Because if at all B is less than or equal to A join C, then we are getting that B join C is less than or equal to A join C, which is not true here, right? Okay. So therefore, what we got is, we can observe that you take this, we will try to take two elements. We'll try to use the fact that there is no element between A and B. So we'll try to produce some element which is between A and B, then it should be equal to one of them. What is that? Is okay. So you take this B meet A join C. We know that B meet A join C is less than or equal to B, right? Because it is meet of two elements, so it is less than or equal to everything. Okay, so we can write here. We know that B meet A join C is less than or equal to B, but it is also bigger than or equal to A. Can you see why it is bigger than or equal to A? This whatever we have written here, we know already A is less than B, right? A is already less than B, and what can you say about A join C? No? Since A is less than B and A is less than or equal to A join C, this implies A is less than or equal to meet of those things. Is this clear? Any problem? Huh? Because of A is less than B, A is less than or equal to B meet A join C. Okay, so we got that between these two elements, we are getting one element here. Okay, now as A is strictly covered by B, we get either, what we get? This value will B should be equal to this or A should be equal to this, right? We get either B is equal to B meet A join C or B meet A join C is equal to A. Is this clear? Are you following or not? Any problem?
Yes, sir.
No. Okay. Now can be this B should be equal to this? If at all B is equal to B meet A join C, if B is equal to B meet A join C, then obviously B should be less than or equal to A join C. B should be smaller than A join C, right? but which is not true. We have already seen here B is not contained in A join C. Is this clear? So therefore B cannot be equal to this. Therefore B is not equal to B meet A join C. This implies the only possibility is that B meet A join C should be equal to E. Is this clear? Up to here?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now we use some suitable X and suitable Y. Okay, and we use this isomorphism theorem. Okay, we use isomorphism theorem in such a way that one side we get A and other side A comma B, and here you get A join C and B join C. So they are isomorphic and no element is between A and B, so therefore there won't be any element between A join C and B join C. That is the idea. Okay, so we should get A and B one side. So let X is equal to something and Y is equal to something, so that we should get from this X is equal to something and Y is equal to something, such a way that X meet Y is our A. Okay, so you take Y is equal to B and X is equal to A join C. Okay, then we know that by isomorphism theorem, for this X and Y, what we get? For this X and Y, what we get? X meet Y, comma Y is isomorphic to X comma X join Y.
X comma X join Y.
Yes. So this implies, now if we substitute X meet Y, what is X meet Y? This is simply this meet Y, which is nothing but A or not. This is A and Y is our B, is isomorphic to our X, which is A join C. And what is X join Y? What is join of these two? A join C join B. What is the relation between A join C join B? Because A is already smaller than B, so what you will have here is same as B joins. How many of you understood? How many of you understood this one? Since X meet Y, which is equal to A join C meet B, which we deduce that this is same as A. Okay, and what is our X join Y, which is equal to A join C join B, but this is same as B join C as A is less than. Is this clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now as A is strictly covered by B, that means there is no element between A and B here, right? If at all any element is there between A join C and B join C, then that element we can send it here. That is what this isomorphism theorem says, right? What this isomorphism theorem says, whenever you have an element here, we can send, then there is an element here which we can map it. Are you following? Right? But there is no element between A and B. So here also there should not be any element between A join C and B join C. Is this clear? Because they are isomorphic here, right? We get A join C is strictly covered by B join C. Is this clear? So if A join C is not equal to B join C, we prove that A join C is strictly covered by B join C.
B join C.
That shows that hence L is, or L satisfies UCC condition. Okay. Now as this our L is modular, obviously by duality, L also satisfies lower covering condition. Okay, but I want you to verify this just like how we prove it here. Okay, so try to prove it this without using modular duality condition. So try to prove this. So that is your exercise for your understanding. prove it directly without using duality condition. Try to prove that if L is modular, then L satisfies LCC condition. Is that clear? Here we have already written what
Yes,
is meant
sir.
by our LCC condition. Try to prove this using, of course, isomorphism theorem. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So if you have understood this UCC proof, however we have gone through that, so wherever joints are there, try to argue with meets, but don't simply blindly replace those things. We may get somewhere error, right? Okay. So use those things properly. Then try to prove that it satisfies LC. Okay. So we'll stop here and we'll see next some properties in next class.